The bottom.
Tip of the tongue, teeth, and the lips. Let me know when you go live. Let me know when you hit the button.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me.
Red leather, blue leather, red leather, green leather,
red leather, purple leather,
pleather,
pleather.
Shout out, PETA. We're happy to be a sponsor of the show. We don't care.
We're looking for AdSense. That's it.
Seriously, anything. Yeah. Our audience mainly is comprised of PETA truthers and anti-PETA people. It's a very interesting YouTube comment section. But yeah, like I've truly been enjoying gaming again, but I forgot how competitive I am. I saw one of our old friends over the break. He's the one named after a pastry, and he was just like, "Oh, good, it's good to see you're gaming again." He's like, "Hey, do you remember when you snapped your controller in half?" I was like, "I don't." And I was like, "Oh, right. When I used to play Gears 2 really, really competitively and like compete, I got so mad that I went like 32-2, and I was trying to go like 32-0 that I snapped a controller, and I was like, it's like that. What's that sound right now? It's like, hey, I need to stop. I'm an adult.
Like, that's not fair. I need to stop.
I need to stop. I'm an adult. It was too much
self-control back then, because the Gears days were rough days. Rough nights. We'd be up to like 3 playing that.
Yeah, I used to have a bad habit of like looking at a chainsaw and being like, no, it doesn't look like that. It's not that easy, right? Like they're like made of like paper cups or something, but they're not. They're not. It's don't chainsaw people. It's quite difficult.
It's kind of like seeing a police officer's gun with a little like clip thingy unleashed. It's like I could.
Oh yeah, like driving on the other side, and you're just like, I could ramp this like a Dukes of Hazzard right now.
Oof, nothing better than those tow trucks with like the big ramp.
I know.
All my training, all my years of video game training has led me to that moment.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for joining us on another Fandom Social Pop Culture News and Headlines. It is our very first show of the year, and we're not breaking stride at all because we wrapped up the outline about 35 seconds ago. And so, Daniel, Happy New Year. How was your break? You had some time off, right?
It was good. A little time off. Unfortunately, my job does a thing where it's like you're off 2 days in the middle of the week. You come back Friday, then it's weekend, and then you're back 2 days, off 2 days, weekend. My schedule's all jacked up, but it was a nice break. We've been we're doing a lot of wedding planning, so it's been very stressful. But
that's right. You are getting married in February on Valentine's Day.
Yes. Yeah.
We will not be having a show that following Monday, everyone. By the way, just so you know, we're going to give Daniel the day off.
Hooray.
But just the one. Yeah, okay, so you got to see some. Did you watch anything? Did you play any games, or what did you do?
Played a lot of Rivals, a lot of Marvel Rivals. I started Sonic Frontiers, which was we were kind of talking. We touched on very odd game, but it's been pretty solid so far.
I'm not a Sonic fan. I didn't grow up playing Sonic. Like, I mean, you grew up. I didn't play Sonic.
Sure, yeah. But like Sonic 1 and 2 on an emulator or something. Just something very like straightforward. And this new one is very much not straightforward. It's like an action RPG, but with Sonic. So it's fun, but it's
like
definitely
Hideko Kojima is like, let me take a shot at Sonic.
It feels like like somebody modded Sonic characters into Death Stranding. Like the landscape's very gray, very like wide open hills.
Sonic's just
with spontaneous monster ad placements in there.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome in. Jin's got her snacks. What kind of snacks are we working with, Jin? Did you bring enough for the class? Perhaps. I hope so. Hello, Laura. Steve, I'm sure you're already. Oh, that's not a snack. That's a
edamame, bro. That's
a chore.
Good.
That looks like a chore.
I will say after like a handful of these, my jaw hurt.
Yeah, no. Hello, Dwayne. Tenchi. I didn't want to play Crazy Taxi. Yeah, Daniel. Over the break, me and my girlfriend went to that I always forget the name of that damn brewery. It's like a gaming brewery in the Arts District here in LA, and I played
the One Up or something,
something like that. Yeah, but we played
Yeah.
Carnival a little bit too.
Nice.
Big shout out to Carnival if the developers are out there and love to sponsor the show, we are available. So, and Jin says, "Aw, congrats." I think she was talking
Thank
about
you.
Sonic.
She's talking about Sonic.
Well, hello everyone. Today's going to be a nice, chill, and relaxed fit. If you are here, please say hi. We've got some Fandom Social. We've got some news we're going to cover. Not like about Fandom Social. We've just got news. We don't quite know what our next show is yet because, again, as mentioned, Daniel's going to be quite busy. So we're gonna fire from the hip here when we can, but we're gonna keep the ball rolling. We're gonna do some DC news. We've got some Marvel news, and then we're gonna end the show with a bunch of movies that we're really excited for. But we're gonna go by month because it's kind of just easier for my brain to compartmentalize them like that. And I'd already kind of put them in there before I checked with Daniel, so that's the direction we're going.
We're locked in. We're locked into the script.
Jin, we're gonna need details. What kind of chips? What flavor particularly? What is the consistency? Where did you get
if it's
them?
sea salt and vinegar, we're going to have to ask you, though.
Yeah, those aren't chips. Again, it's a chore. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Let's get started. Dana, what is our first bit of news?
The first one is kind of, a surprise, but not a surprise. Everyone's shocked, but not surprised. Jason Momoa has been announced as the DCU's Lobo. He's, staying in the DC universe, right? He's supposed to appear in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Originally came out in 1983. Hollywood Reporter confirmed that he is going to be playing Lobo. Which, I mean, look at him. Like, is that not a perfect fit?
Yeah, it should have. It's who he should have been all along.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know. I kind of liked him as Aquaman.
I was just gonna say I agree. He has grown on me as Aquaman, but I don't know if it's like if he's grown on me as Aquaman the same way Momobo.
Momobo.
That sounds like one of the chimps that the Beatles owned. But Jason Momoa has grown on me. Then go live on him, Jin. No one's telling you not to.
We will show you the way.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know if it's like trauma bonded. Like I'm just like with his character. It's sort of the way that like, you're like, ooh, you know what sounds good, Daniel? Is like those old lunchable pizzas. Like weren't those so good? And just like, no. It was just all you had to eat. They were bad then. And I'm like, maybe it's bad now, but I'm just bonded to it.
I feel that. Yeah. And at this point I feel like it's been talked about and maybe he's hinted at it for so long now that like it just kind of makes sense. I am kind of weary on the actors kind of selecting their own roles for these big universes. Who did it last? I think it was like Simu Liu tweeted that he wanted to play Shang-Chi, and then he ended up getting it.
John Krasinski being fan cast as Mr. Fantastic, like even though he was murdered like immediately, spoilers for a movie that's like now like 5 years old, I still don't like that the MCU is like beholden to the fan casting because he was good and he looked like him, but I don't think he's right for Reed Richards. So I will see. I don't think he has that level of intensity in him. But it doesn't matter. He's dead. So, but I think that Momoa is great. I don't really particularly like Lobo as like a comic book character. In the same way I don't like Deadpool. It like annoys me, and I don't necessarily like. I don't need the fourth wall breaking. Like I know I'm reading a comic book, Lobo. Like I don't need you to tell me that. Like
yeah.
I don't know.
Harley Gaga. That's a great point. That probably was the most recent one. Yeah,
I guess.
Oof.
I've completely tried to put that behind me.
You and
not one Oscar nom. No, nowhere at the Golden Globes. I can't wait. They're gonna stream the Razzies this year. We should co-stream it.
Are they really? I'm
yeah. They're gonna stream them. But Laura says, I never liked Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic either. Nothing against JK, being John Krasinski, just not for that role. I agree. I don't think he like had that for him. Also, it was like wasted. Like he could have been so many other people probably in the MCU, and now he's just like dead Reed Richards. So I don't know. I like him. What do you know much Lobo? Are you excited for much Lobo?
I don't know too much. I know that he's supposed to be like a kind of like a wily cowboy, Deadpool like kind of attitude character. But yeah, I know Momoa can do. Well, I don't know. I'm hopeful Momoa can do that. I don't know. Did you see Fast X, whichever one he was in?
Whatever one he was in. Yeah, it's basically that.
Exactly, but with costumes and prosthetics. And so I'm sure he's going to do a fine enough job. But who knows?
Yeah, I think for Lobo, like he is perfect. I love it. I love that he's getting this role. And truly, like he has manifested this. I think, he's been doing that for a while. And to Alexis's point, she says, who would you guys preferred for Lobo and Mr. Fantastic? Like no one for Lobo, like for sure. Like he is the guy.
Javier Bardem for Lobo. I don't know. I love Javier Bardem. I could put him in every movie. And
have you been reading Javier Bardem fanfic again?
Yes. It's on my homepage. AO3 baby.
Well, that's gross. For Mr. Fantastic though, I don't know. I like Pedro Pascal. I don't think he's right for the role. You know who I wanted was not Glenn Powell, Glenn Howerton, who is in and It's Always Sunny. Like, dude,
Dennis?
What's Dennis? He is Dennis Reynolds in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Watch him in Blackberry. You can watch his intensity, and then watch him in anything that he does otherwise. Like he plays like unhinged, but he can play sort of pretentious. Like that's freaking Reed Richards, dude. Like to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
What about you?
That's a great question. I would love to see Mr. Fantastic. Perhaps a Darren Criss, a teen heartthrob, something.
Oh, I'm going to make fun of you for Darren Criss. Really?
Yes, absolutely. With a little gray here. Ooh. No, I don't know. I really haven't given it too much thought, truthfully.
He just looks like an aging warbler. He would not look like Mr. Reed Richards. I'm sorry.
They're going to have to really explain the acapella breakdown in whatever scene they throw that in.
Yeah, it's like, please stop singing, Reed. Jesus Christ. We're dying here, man. Let's see, what else do we have? John says Krasinski didn't like himself being in that role either. He did it as a favor to the fans who wanted to see it. He said it was a one-time only thing. Yeah, good for him. Pete says, I don't think Momoa manifested Lobo. I think Simon busily manifested Jason Momoa. Yeah, that's true. Lobo's from Peaceful Planet, the Cisnerian,
maybe.
Yeah, he like killed everyone, I think, as a group project. Like it was like a school project, and he wanted to see if he could wipe out his entire race or entire race of people, and he did it. I think like what he killed his like nurse immediately when he was born. Yeah, something like that. Honestly, he's a trippy character who's got some interesting stories, but he's just one of those characters that's like, he's so powerful and funny that you can't really write anything meaningful about him.
Yeah, I don't see there being like a good emotional arc throughout whatever movie he's in.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good stories in Giffen's like Crisis. Like he's some stuff in like post Crisis on Infinite Earth, the original one, but majoritively it's kind of all the same.
Now, what do you think about Matt Smith as a Reed Richards? I can't really see him play intense. Even in like House of Dragons, I feel like he's kind of like when he does push himself, like it doesn't, I don't know, something about him. Like maybe that's just me like seeing him as like the Doctor still. Yeah. It's hard to see him like get angry or.
Yeah. Emotional. I don't think he has that vibe either. Not really sure. Like, I don't want to like use him because he's kind of everywhere and he would be wrong for the role. But you know how like Glenn Powell has that look where you're like, you can plug that like cookie cutter and not like anything. And he
yeah.
can kind of fit anywhere periodically. Like I think Reed Richards is that person because in comics, at least, which is really the best reference we pull from, like Reed Richards is never present mentally. He's always working somewhere else. And sometimes he has like a clone or a projection of himself spending time with his family so he can work. And like, he's an asshole. Like he's socially awkward. But he's the smartest. I always forget. Someone can correct me in the comics. Like, I think he's always like the second or third smartest person in the universe.
Damn.
Yeah. Like he's always like next to Shuri or behind Shuri. But he was Dwayne says, too bad Jim Varney passed.
Jim Varney. Who's Jim Varney?
Ernest from Ernest. Yeah, the pen scene in Ernest Goes to Jail is still classic. But yeah, I think like Reed Richards needs to Reed Richards is an absent father. I'm sorry to tell you guys. He's not a good dad. So yeah, we need someone to play a really intelligent deadbeat. That's what CAA is. Is it CAA, the talent agency?
CSA, Casting Society of America.
Yeah, but that's they put out. Looking for deadbeat man, white streaks in hair.
Brainiac.
Yeah, a lot of playwrights responding to that one. All right, well, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, he's gonna be in Supergirl, which has got what's her name in it from House of the Dragon. What is Millie?
Oh, Millie. It's not Millie Babcock, is it?
No, but she's the main girl. She's the main girl in it before she ages up.
Millie Alcock.
Millie Alcock, yeah. So she's playing Supergirl, I believe. So
she's gonna rock that. She looks
she's gonna be great. So I'm very excited. Reed Richards is a dick, 100%. Like he's a bad dude. He's just so brilliant that people overlook it, which happens unfortunately. So not an issue we ever have to worry about, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely not.
See, that's great. To our partners, if you're out there watching, we will never be smart enough to have our misgivings be overlooked. All right. Let's get into, we only have technically 2 pieces of news because this next piece of news, I feel like is going to take up a bulk of the show as our dumbass Lobo headline just took up about 15 minutes. So, all right, you're up, nerd.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to intro it. Okay, so Marvel Rivals is starting their first season. Well, technically their second. They just did the season 0, which I beat. So season 1, it's going to be called Eternal Night Falls. It's introducing the Fantastic Four to the game. Let's see. It's supposed to come out with new maps, special events, a new game mode, like a new battle pass. There's a whole ton coming. And this is some of the artwork that they've given us. Oh.
We pulled it up at the same time. Yeah.
So here we see the Fantastic Four in their in-game uniforms. Can't really explain the beard on Mr. Fantastic. I imagine.
Oh, it's pretty common. It's pretty common in the comics.
Really?
Like to me, I beard too? Yeah. Like I think Reed, especially once you get into Hickman's run, a little later on for those, I don't know, 40, 50 issues, he's got a beard and he looks pretty sick because he just is traveling and it's the least of his priorities. Also, it just looks dope. I just think I prefer the beard. I like a bearded Reed Richards. Sue me.
Agreed. He kind of looks like a dweeb without it.
I agree. He does. Yeah. I'm not overstating when I'm saying I am incredibly excited for this.
Me too.
This is not a we are not in any way being sponsored by Marvel Rivals yet, but however, if you would like to sponsor us, Marvel Rivals and NetEase, reach out to us. hello@fandomsocial.com. We're happy to take your money. But we've played Marvel Rivals, countless times now, some of that together or separately, but it just feels really fun and pretty balanced. Even though, with season 1, they are bringing some balances to the game, which we can get into, but if you're not really playing the game so much, I don't think it really matters to you. But There are some interesting updates, Daniel, right, that are also coming to like the maps as well.
Yeah, there's new maps. There's what is it like the Sanctum Sanctorum, Midtown, Central Park. It's some kind of comic line, right? Where it's like, well, spoilers. The big bad of the season seems to be Dracula. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was actually Dracula or some.
It's Count Orlok specifically. It's Bill Skarsgård and his prosthetic penis. Yes. The mustache, yeah. Did you see that? So sorry. This isn't even funny. This is just funny to me. But it's like people being like, "Why does Nosferatu look like my dad?" And it's just like people showing all of like their Eastern European fathers that all look like Count Orlok.
The handlebar stash lives on.
And the internet being the I'm trying.
Can you get it? Can you grow it down here? I don't think I've ever seen it with like chin hair.
No, I think so, but I think I'd look like too much like some of our uncles who have a particular aura about them that I do not possess. And I just don't think they would look good for me. I can do like the Doctor Strange.
Oh, I hate Doctor Strange.
What do you mean?
The curly Q? Wait.
Yeah. No. Well, some of it. Yeah. We don't have I don't think we have a picture of him, but well, I'm looking at my 6 scale and he's got it like here and then up here.
I can see you rocking that. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it went curly Q. I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like it either. It gives this energy.
Absolutely. Some kind of vintage shaving ad for some reason.
Yeah, it feels like a cancelable offense. But yeah, Marvel Rivals again called Eternal Nightfalls. You brought up an interesting point in the outline about it being known as ever expanding. And I think that's sort of a hint at what you can kind of see below, because there are a ton of people who are data mining this game to find leaks. And I think you brought up an image, right, of like some of the possible leaks. We'll go through these and maybe we can talk about some of the ones you're most excited for and then the ones you think would be least exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is the graphic I brought up.
Okay.
And I think it's mostly what our banner is going for. But
what do the numbers represent?
Because there's more than 10 characters here. So I imagine they're, I don't know, maybe part of like a season or maybe a release order. But there's some interesting ones on here. So we got Ultron, which I think we've seen like a leaked image of his kit. So we know what his abilities are going to be.
Yeah, Ultron is locked in, like, for sure.
I don't know who the Spider-Man is. I imagine that might be Miles, maybe?
That is Miles. That's Miles is.
That is Miles.
Costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Work. We know Iron Man. Human Torch is going to be there. Wolverine's on this list for some reason.
Yeah, this seems kind of old. Here, let's go left to right. Green Goblin. Green Goblin, we've got. I think that could be interesting, having like a flying character. Like, I think what they're looking for, and again, if you guys aren't playing the game, just kind of hang with us here, because I do promise I want to tie this more. I have a way to tie this into more pop culture in general, but like Green Goblin flying character right now, there's a balancing issue with people just playing Iron Man, flying way up and just shooting people from the top.
Absolutely.
And it is a huge pain in the ass. You got Deadpool, which is got to be on his way. Like, there's no way that they don't include Deadpool in this.
Yeah. I think it's a money grab. Not a money grab, but it's definitely one of the fan service items where it's like people want Deadpool in this game. And especially with all the, like, the vocal tracks and all the quips, he's going to have like a full, roster of things to say. I could see Hitmonkey being a good ad. Maybe like a very mobile shoot 'em up, kind of like Spider-Man is, right? Because Spider-Man, you can zip in and out. But with guns, as all monkeys should have.
We need to arm our monkeys. That's where I prefer. Honestly, I prefer my taxes go there. And Mysterio, you had a really fun idea for what you wanted, like Mysterio. Like, they all have powers, but they all have an ultimate ability that after you do so much damage or you take so much damage, you gain an ultimate ability that you can unleash on everyone. And what did you think would be fun for Mysterios?
So for Mysterio, like his whole thing is illusions and trickery. I was saying if Mysterio drops his ult, right, everybody on the field or in a radius turns into a Mysterio, right? Except you now can't track which player is a teammate or which one's an enemy, and they can all take damage. So it just turns into a free for all. Truly chaotic, and I don't know, like as far as balancing goes, how that would play out, but sounds fun. Sounds chaotic.
Yeah, I think that would be a blast. Because it's gonna do one of two things. It's either just gonna be like a freaking safeties off, and I'm just real like that dude that's just playing Spider-Man and going 2-30. Like just like you can just find him and take him down, or everyone just stops.
I'm sure there's gonna be so many like clips coming out of people just like waiting to try and like see who's who.
Yeah, and then like you sneaking behind the back line because you're like no one knows who's who. That's
so
great.
There's some utility to it, but a lot of these characters seem like they're like what is it, the Spot, I believe.
Yeah,
I feel like the Spot could be cool because they already have like the portal mechanics, right? Like Doctor Strange can like open a portal. I feel like the Spot being able to do that maybe quicker would be nice, especially what we saw in what is it, Beyond the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. He was opening portals left and right, and again, it just kind of like introduces this like chaotic, frenetic energy into the game. Because sometimes the games move a little slow.
Yeah, I'd like the idea of the Spot being able to open up portals, but you have no control over where it goes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That's fun. That's more fun. Let's see. We've got who is that Sentry that's there, or Apocalypse in between Spot and Taskmaster?
Taskmaster. That might be a Sentry. I think that's a. Let me see if he's in this other.
Yeah, let's see. Bring up that other thing. That's it's the same. I think that's a no. That's a. Someone can tell us, but I think that's probably Sentry. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a tricky thing. Like Sentry, I don't really know. Like Sentry's not really like a great character, even though they do have a new comic out that's like focused on like sentries. Centennial, thank you. Jesus.
Sentinel.
Yeah, Sentinel.
Okay. So right, Sentry. Isn't Sentry like an Ultron offshoot or something like that?
Sentry is what's his name, everyone? His name's like Richard, or his like real name's Richard, and that's who that one guy's playing in Thunderbolts.
He's got like a yellow suit.
Yeah. He's playing. Was not prepared for Sentry talk. Also, my Marvel knowledge is a little waiting. Taskmaster would be an interesting one. I don't really know like what he would do. Like we already have someone who copies someone else's powers.
Oh wow, yeah. That's a great point. Loki already kind of does that. And I imagine he'd just be like another Deadpool type, Punisher type. Just guns running around.
He'd have his sword like magic, and he has a shield like Cap. So like the mechanics would be in between there somewhere.
Yeah, maybe like a good block with like a strong attack or a medium attack, maybe.
Probably
a combo kind of character.
The two that I find the most interesting of all of these are Doc Ock.
Ooh,
I think that would be really cool because that is like just like the move mechanic would be so much fun. And I feel like it's a character that can be a tank in the sense of like using the arms as like a shield. Think of like Groot doing how like Groot plays.
Yeah.
And then also a character that can climb. Like it seems like a pretty versatile character, just not with many like projectiles.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any projectiles, right? Comic wise.
No.
That would be interesting.
Sometimes Aunt May. Yeah. But also Nightcrawler. Like Nightcrawler is like would be the coolest addition. Like everyone wants Ghost Rider and everything, but I think there's a lot of room for more X-Men in this world, because I think the X-Men that are in the game are not like the most played right now.
I feel like I don't really see much of Psylocke. Wolverines come out when like the team needs to push. But yeah, for the most part, it's like I feel like we see a lot of like Iron Man, a lot of like the MCU characters, right? God, I can't stand when people play Scarlet Witch. She's too good.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a mutant. I don't necessarily know
Oh, true.
if we classify her as an X-Men, but yeah. So
More
with all of
Dazzler.
this, needs more Dazzler. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for sticking with us, Tenchi. You can tell Tenchi's playing. There's a lot that's happening in season 1 with balancing, which is basically, there's some characters that have been since the launch of the game. It's about a month now. I think today's like a month.
Yeah, just
Um,
about.
but it's just they're balancing out some players of what they can do versus what they can't do. Like Hawkeye right now, like doesn't need to reload and can like hit you with one shot and then you're done and you're just like, I'm the freaking Hulk. Why can he like one shot me? Like it just doesn't. I don't know. It's a video game. It's like a hero shooter, so it doesn't necessarily need to make all that much. I don't even know who Forbushman is. What's the name of the other guy? Darwin. Darwin would be interesting.
Darwin. He was in the movie, right? First
Yeah,
Class.
yeah. Yeah, he's the guy that can like adapt to everything.
Ooh.
You know?
If they make him the one that can survive like a Scarlet Witch ult, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. He just becomes an ult, like a like the floating red orb. That's all he becomes. So a lot of this game has been dependent on the fact that I think the game's mechanics and the lore, everything operates within itself. What I'm curious about is this is a huge year, 2025 is, for Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel coming out that I think is impactful, being Thunderbolts, being Captain America. I know there's a new show. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought there was something else coming out this year. Oh, Ironheart.
Oh yeah, gotta forget
At
that's
some
coming
point. Yeah, so I'm just very curious to see how this game works through those major beats that Marvel, because this is like Marvel games, but they have the same, like, did you notice like the same text and font and logo treatment as like Marvel Studios, but instead of studios, it says games.
Yeah, I did clock that. And I don't know, maybe that's Marvel trying to like push like a unified brand image.
Mm-hmm.
But Marvel games also didn't they make the what is it? Blanking Guardians games? I'm sure that was another
I think so.
developer.
Like, I don't think they made the Avengers game, which was like not beloved.
Yeah,
I never played the Guardians game. I'm curious if anyone here played the Guardians. Did you play the Guardians game?
I didn't know, but I had a friend that did, and they said that they much prefer the Guardians game to the Avengers game, even though they're kind of similar in their mechanics, their development. But they just said they outright prefer the Guardians version.
But I'm curious to see how Marvel works how this game works once it has to compete with like the MCU, which most games, to be honest, just to be quite frank, a lot of these Marvel games have not had to because Marvel as a brand has kind of like shooed them aside because they're like, oh, they haven't been very successful.
And I feel like, especially with Marvel, it's such a big entity that if something's not like an explosive like success right off the bat, then it's not something that they push. It's not something that they like try and get people to try. It's either it's explosive and it works on its own or it doesn't, and it just kind of is left to rot.
And I think we have another Marvel game coming out by Marvel Games. I think
there was a Wolverine coming out, but I think that's from Insomniac.
Yeah, and that's not for like till like next year. I think it's like Marvel 1942. It's the one with Captain America and Black Panther. I don't know. I don't remember the exact name, but I think that's also Marvel Games. And it's a much different take on it. But from friends in the industry who've gotten to see a little bit of that game, they're like, it's pretty cool. They're like, think like a really hyper-focused story-driven version of like It Takes Two, where you can kind of like flow in between these two characters with vastly different powers and abilities. I'm interested. Did you find out the name of the game?
Yeah, it's Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra.
Rise of Hydra. Yeah, so I mean, I love the idea though of them like with all of these other games like Rivals and 43 and then the Wolverine game, like really just saying like to hell with continuity, like in that realm, like let's just make cool stuff.
Yeah. And maybe that's the time to do it. Just go crazy, throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. I feel like, when you lock yourself into a box and you really try to stay within the confines of what it works, I feel like you kind of creatively. Good night,
Laura. Sleep tight, sweet prince. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
I feel like
Laura interrupted us.
I feel like you kind of creatively bankrupt yourself a bit, right? It just becomes formulaic. But when it works, it works. So I guess when it comes down to like profits versus the artistry or the creative drive of it all.
Yeah. And Rivals has a really good foundation that they're finding themselves on. They are capturing a lot of Marvel fans. They're capturing a lot of people who play a lot of Overwatch, and then people who are just like, hey, this game's free, like let me check it out. So they've got a really good thing going. We'll see how season 1 picks up on that momentum. I don't think it's going to drop it. I think the game's too hot right now for like any of the negativity to really start settling in. But we'll see. Season 1 for Marvel Rivals drops on Monday. Nope, Friday.
Just before the weekend.
Friday. So where we'll be playing that. I think. Oh yeah, we get Mr. Fantastic and Sue in the first Friday.
Half. Yeah,
first half, and then we get the Thing and Torch in like 6 to 7 weeks. So,
which is interesting because 6
to 7 weeks we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll let you know how it goes. I know I'll be probably kicking ass as Susan Storm. Sue Storm. Invisible Woman.
Invisible Woman, yes. Don't call her by her government name. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm excited about just them really taking these like really big strides. It's going to be a huge year for the Fantastic Four, which we will get into. We are out of our pop culture news. There's a ton of stuff that happened with the Globes. There's a ton of stuff that's happening with like other different things we've covered, but we really wanted to at least touch on some movies that we're looking forward to in the coming year between now and December. Just a high glance. Some of these might change, some of these might not change. Let's get started. We'll do these by month, Daniel. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
All right, kick us off here. What do we got?
All right. So in January 2025, we got 2 big ones coming out. Wolfman, which is going to be the newest version. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's got that lady from the Ozark. Ozark. Oh, she's so good. I'm kind of interested. There was a Wolfman walkthrough at I believe it was Horror Nights this year, and the creature did not look very good.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I had a photo somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. Okay. But yeah, it looked rough, like a very rough draft, maybe. But otherwise, I'm excited. I like seeing them bring back these like classic characters, and I know Wolfman's a really old property.
Yeah, it's a really big year for Universal Monsters.
Where they have the new theme park coming out, so I'm sure there's going to be some kind of tie-in or some kind of implementation.
Not on accident that they're like, whoa, crazy! All these movies are coming out now, which can be good for the theme park, bad for the movie, usually. So, yeah, Wolfman, I'm really, really excited about. Greg Abbott, or not Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott's Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner is her name. Also, I'm pretty sure Julia Garner is in Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure she's
playing Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer, yeah. So, or a version of the Silver Surfer. Calm down. I forgot what. Not on this side of the internet. So, yeah, Wolfman, I'm pretty excited about. That comes out on January 17th, I believe. So pretty soon. Yeah, that's next week. Shit.
Yeah,
that is next week. And
this is the one I'm excited for. It's Presence. And this is the movie from Neon. And it's a horror movie that takes place from the POV of this demonic entity roaming the house.
Yes.
Which could be like a Skinamarink Part 2. You know, it could be a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, it's got Lucy Liu, Julia Fox, and I have Chris Sullivan, who I do like Chris Sullivan. Julia Fox I don't like so much. So hopefully we'll. Do you know who you remember Julia Fox, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, what is it?
I'm so Julia.
No, what was her thing that went viral?
Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Yeah.
Uncut Gems.
But I love Lucy Liu. I love Steven Soderbergh. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for this film since it was announced at TIFF. I watched like 10 minutes of it, but this was like a year ago, and it was like just the intro, and it was a bunch of it was called an ambiance trailer, is what they had called it. And it's just like the slowest parts of the movie that they like smash cut in and looped. And it was cool. But I tried to watch it again before this, but the link is long dead. I watched that in like February. So we'll see. I mean, I like Soderbergh, but the cast is very interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, but who knows?
Yeah,
it might be a sleeper hit.
Yeah, let's move into a very busy month for you, February.
What's going on in February?
These are the most important things happening in my life in February. Tell them.
So the first one is Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah,
which I'm not too hyped about, but
I am really excited for this.
Really?
Which I know if you've been watching, I've been very anti-Marvel, but I don't know why. I'm just really stoked for this. I think Bucky's in this, right?
Sebastian Stan's in this? He must be. Yeah.
Yeah. No. He's in Thunderbolts. That's why.
Thunderbolts. That's right.
I don't really like Anthony Mackie so much, but I want to see like what they do. I like Anthony Mackie, the person, not the actor.
Okay.
I want to see what they do with this story. I think it's pretty interesting that they've introduced like
Red Hulk.
Red Hulk versus Captain America with like no super soldier serum. So John says it feels very winter soldierish, which hopefully that is the direction they go, because that is a formula that has worked for them. But also I like grounded Marvel more. I like grounded Marvel or Infinity War. Like I don't like all the in between. Like it doesn't work.
Okay. So, yeah, that makes sense.
As of late, but yeah.
Did you like Eternals? We'll touch on that, but yeah, so we've got Captain America: Brave New World, and then The Monkey.
Yes, I am so excited for this movie. It's based, it's all there. It's by Neon, who is like A24's weird avant-garde brother. It's based on a short story by Stephen King. I believe released in a group of stories. I always forget the name, but it's called like The Iron Throne, The Iron Bone, or Blood and Bone. But it's a bunch of short stories that he put out, and The Monkey is in it, and that is a weird ass story.
Really?
That like I don't think warranted these gross, weird horror directors, but I am so excited like to see what they do. They actually just released a cut of their there's only one Hulk and he is green. It's very Hulkist of you. And I'm really excited to see this. Theo James is kind of a slept on actor. I really like Theo James a lot. Osgood Perkins just did Long Legs for everyone. Skeleton Crew, thank you. I knew it was named after something else that was really popular, which is why I think they left that off the marketing. Because Star Wars went first. I couldn't think of the damn name. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really, really stoked for this. You can listen to the audiobook on Spotify for free if you have premium, and you can listen to like just this story. I think it took me like 2 hours to listen through. But I really enjoyed it. Like I'm really excited for this movie. to see if Osgood Perkins from Longlegs, which was one of my favorite movies of 2024, can kind of continue that success.
Well, here's hoping. Yeah, Longlegs got some good reception, so hopefully he keeps his momentum up.
We'll see if his career has legs.
Okay, so March, that brings us to Mickey 17.
Oh,
yeah, this one looks great. Love Bong Joon-ho. Love Robert
Parasite.
Pattinson,
everyone
of Parasite. What else did you did? Like Train to Busan too.
I don't think so. I don't think he did Train to Busan, but let me check.
Yeah, Mickey 17 is coming out. That one looks good. I love a good sci-fi. It seems very almost buddy cop esque. Like when he discovers his twin. So
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
You had the means of transportation kind of close.
Yeah. I knew there was some kind of train.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Americans are dumb. Yeah, this has been a movie that I'm really, really excited for. It's kind of like Moon meets The Truman Show, which Moon with Sam Rockwell, if you guys haven't seen it, and The Truman Show, which of course. But we'll see. It's interesting. I think Robert Pattinson signs up to be it's like a variant or a clone. I forget what he calls them in the trailer. The trailer's out right now. But basically, you just make versions of yourself to go and work in these terrible, terrible places for this mining colony. And there aren't a lot of details, but essentially, Mickey 16 they think dies, so they make Mickey 17, but then you come to find out that Mickey 16 survived. And then there's never supposed to be two. So there's a trial and a tribunal about what they're supposed to do with them. So that's kind of all we know so far. Expendable. Thank you. Yeah, so it's I think that's one of the more for the film bros, for the obnoxious assholes on film subreddits like myself, that's one of the movies that people are really, really excited for because Bong Joon-ho has done peak cinema.
Yeah,
before. He's an Oscar winner, and for lots of reasons. So we'll see. And Pattinson's, we're just living in his world this year. So
at this point, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So that brings us to May. We've got Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. It's supposed to be the final Mission Impossible.
Dead Reckoning. I think that's my bad.
No, Dead Reckoning was the last one.
Oh, did you correct it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So this is gonna be the last Mission Impossible movie. So I imagine it's gonna be crazy and bigger than all the other Mission Impossible movies before it. It seems pretty good. Seems exciting. I couldn't tell you at this point what these movies are about per se.
AI. I'm pretty sure the bad guy in this last one was AI.
Yeah, it was. And I've seen them all, and I couldn't tell you if there's a coherent storyline through them all, or if they're all anthological, or what.
Tell me if this is a bad take. I think these movies are very similar to 007.
Yes, absolutely.
And my buddy was like, "No, these are trash." He's like, if Fast and the Furious is Mission Impossible, 007 is Drive. And I'm like, what? I think these movies are identical, to me. So Mission Impossible and 007 constantly get mixed up in my head.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like the Mission Impossible movies have definitely gone the way of Fast and Furious, where it's each one is what's bigger, badder, what's more crazy, what kind of stunts can we throw in it? And it works for it, don't get me wrong, but after a certain point you're like, wow, Tom Cruise really can hold on to the side of a plane.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, just see your kids. How about you do that stuff? Can you do that? Can't do anything. Yeah, or everything. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. I really like the last one. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Ego padding. Absolutely.
He can do anything but see his children.
And leave that damn church.
Yeah. You need to get your thetans checked out, Daniel. Talked about this.
Is that what it's called? Thetans?
Your thetans. Yeah. It's your evil. It's your evil spirits. Yeah, Tenchi says Mission Impossible is essentially the American attempt to James Bond, all the way back to the TV series beginnings.
Sure. Absolutely.
And now they've become the same thing. How, for all our jokes and wants and wares about Tom Cruise, I will die on the hill that I think he's one of the most important actors in Hollywood right now. Whole show for another reason, but I stand by that statement.
All right, that's fair. What he did during COVID was admirable.
What did he do during COVID?
Well, he was like very strict about like COVID precautions on set. Back when like things were still kind of like, I'm gonna wear it like down here. There was like an audio clip of him like lashing out at people that
because
they were breaking protocol. And he, just very much in the vein of like,
Ghost
what we do here is important. You're making that, you're risking that for us all, kind of thing. But yeah.
All right.
And he paid everyone for like a year or something like that when they had to like shut down productions.
Yeah, I think the Scientology stuff gives him a bad rap. I mean, he's a horrible person for a lot of reasons. Maybe not horrible. I don't know. He's a complicated character, which I don't want to get into topics right. What else do we got?
All right. In May, we've got The Life of Chuck and Thunderbolts. Do we have anything for The Life of Chuck? I don't see anything.
No, I did not pull it up. But really quick, it is another Stephen King short film that's like a 3-part film based on the life of Chuck Wostitz. I had it pulled up here. Oh, nope.
Chuck
Charles Krantz, but he goes by Chuck. But it's like this weird sort of mixed amalgamation movie about this guy's life and what is real, what's not real. But it's one of the weirder Stephen King stories, but it's starring Tom Hiddleston. So apparently, like this movie is going to be like the early Oscars contenders. Like people are saying it's that good.
Wow.
I don't know anyone like personally who's seen it, but just from like the stuff that I read, they're like it's really, really good. It's got Kieran Gillen, I always forget his name. Harvey Guillen, who plays Guillermo in What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah. That like he's incredible in it, and the whole cast is really good.
Wow.
But yeah, Tom Hiddleston plays Chuck, so that's one that I'm really, really excited for. And also Thunderbolts, which we do. We chose this one because I hate the other trailer. Like I hate the other poster. I don't like the other poster. This one I'm not as excited for, but I am excited to see more Sebastian Stan. Like I'm kind of in a Sebastian Stanisance right now.
Stanisance.
We Stan.
He just won, right? Golden Globe.
Yeah, for The Apprentice. And Better Man? Better Man's the Robbie Williams movie.
Oh God, yeah.
A Different Man is the one. Where he So
he turns into a monkey.
Yes. No, it's a chimp. She would tell Ejiofor. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for. I don't know if that's my most excited. I don't know. It's hard to say right now. Let's just keep power through before I hold us up any longer.
All right. Then we got June. We have F1 and 28 years later, which I think we have that.
Yeah, 28 years later, we've got a poster for again Danny Boyle with Alex Garland, of course. Ex Machina fame, recently Civil War, Devs. He's kind of got, a hot hand right now. Also, they wrote the original 2 movies, I think, or first movie together years and years ago when Alex Garland was still just kind of writing stuff before he became Alex Garland.
Yeah.
And Cillian Murphy is set to return in that. He is not that zombie that you see. Like, he is not.
Just that not just like him.
Yeah. But, like, is that not more of a commentary on the fact that, like, Cillian Murphy, like, you look unwell. You look like a zombie. Jaws are not supposed to be that chiseled. Look. Perfect.
God.
Healthy jaw.
Yeah, but 28 years later looks pretty good. But honestly, I'm going to see it, and I'm excited to see it. But is it one of the movies that, like, we just didn't need? Like, did the second movie warrant a sequel? Did the first movie warrant a sequel? I'm sure we're all, like, interested to see where that universe went. But I like it when movies kind of just leave it with, leave things where they lie, Yeah. But that's just me.
I think Hollywood likes a trilogy. It's easier to package. So We'll see. Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. He needs a win right now. I mean, he was good in Nosferatu.
No,
but Aaron Taylor Johnson, you're not good enough to make us forget about Craven.
oh God, yeah.
You didn't like him in
Craven
Nosferatu?
I didn't like him in Nosferatu. No.
Oh, I enjoyed him in Nosferatu.
He was okay for what it was. I'm thankful that it wasn't a bigger role because I feel like there was moments there where like that Aaron Taylor Johnson vibe just like escaped the character. And I don't really like it. I like it when you can lose a character or lose an actor in the character. And I feel like it was too much Aaron Taylor Johnson, but maybe that's the Craven bias on my, side of the brain.
Yeah, he definitely like has a time.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now
it'll be like
talking.
that. It'll be like isn't that movie called like The Movie You'll Never See?
Yeah. Which leaked.
Did it really?
Yeah. It was supposed to be like made and then not released for like 500 years or some shit.
It was like it was like 100 years. It was made in like 2016 to like it'll be released in 2116. Like you'll never see this movie, and then it was like leaked.
I think it's literally on YouTube.
So annoying.
That's what I wanted Megalopolis to be.
Leaked online, so I didn't have to spend one of my AMC stubs days on it. God damn it. I'm making me mad. Yeah, that was him in Nosferatu.
And then I don't know what F1 is.
F1 is a Brad Pitt film where he is playing an F1 driver and he actually like learned to drive. The reason I'm excited for it and I put it on here was because it's like him doing his Tom Cruise-ness where he's just like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to learn. And he's actually like driving in a lot of these scenes. And it was apparently really, really dangerous. But also,
I imagine F1 driving
supposed to be pretty good. So we'll see. I just thought that was interesting. And also like, man, I know this is a cancelable offense. I know Brad Pitt's not like great
as a person,
but
right.
I can separate and I'm like, Brad Pitt, the actor, please keep acting. Because we don't have a lot of like Brad Pitt so much anymore.
I feel like Brad Pitt peaked in Ocean's 11 or the Ocean's trilogy. Him as whatever his character is in that trilogy. Peak Brad Pitt for me.
Yeah. So we'll see. But it stars Carrie Condon, Brad Pitt, and your homie Daniel Javier Bardem.
Yes, telling you, him in everything. Okay, cool. So that brings us to July, which is a big month.
Ooh, big.
Both sides of the comic
big month
universe. So first up, Superman.
Yeah,
not an official way to drop that. Yeah, but it's official in our hearts.
Yeah, it is.
That dog looks like a puppet from like a Mystery Science Theater outtake or something.
It reminds me of what's the dog? Is it the dog from like Muppets? Oh no, is it Rolf?
Rolf
the dog.
That rings a bell, but I can't remember it right now.
No, Sesame Street, one of them. But yeah, no way about it. That's a huge movie. Like I am so glad I am not starring in that movie. I am not writing that movie. I'm not directing that movie. I don't have to market that movie. I don't have to produce that movie because that movie has to it has to be perfect because so much is relying on that film. And I like David Cornsweet and I think he is going to be great. It's just going to be one of those movies, unfortunately, that is going to be subject to like Captain Marvel, where you're like, it doesn't matter how good it does. Like it's never going to get past like the Snyder Bros. It's never going to get past like the anti-woke mob, like not to like flame, not to fan those flames, but it's just, it is rolling a ball uphill. And I only wish it the best, and I would like to see 10 more of them being made, but we'll see.
We'll see how that goes. And then on the other side of the comic book street, we have Fantastic Four coming out.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Not a whole lot needs to be said. I think this movie has a lot of pressure on it too. I think the previous Fantastic Four films were maybe not beloved off the bat, but I feel like they kind of grew into their fame. personally.
I don't think so at all.
The second one. Really? You think they're
I don't
like,
think any of them are good. No. Like,
of course they're not good, but they're fun.
Yeah, I feel that this movie does not have as much pressure as like Superman, because Marvel is already not in the red, but they're already not like performing as well. And for something like Superman, like it's a complete like non-starter if this movie fails or flops.
Yeah. Weird for like a first movie in a new universe to be like a linchpin. Like it really needs to just fire on all cylinders.
Because James Gunn can make bad movies. Just rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I was gonna say Scooby-Doo too, but sure.
Okay.
Scooby-Doo 1 is a cinematic masterpiece. His magnum opus,
yes.
I would say. And then Scooby-Doo 2, it's like a steaming pile of dog shit wrapped in like saran wrap.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Fantastic. Like neither of those movies we have to talk about very much because everyone and their mother is going to be talking about those in leading up to it. And once people start getting invited to screenings in May. So we'll see. All right, we can move on.
All right. Next up in September, we have The Conjuring: Last Rites. Are you a fan of The Conjuring movies?
I like the first and the second one.
They lost me at like number 8.
Yeah, Ed and Lorraine Warren are horrible people, but
like the real people,
the real people are like not good people at all. So in my head, forever, not Patrick Bateman, not Patrick Stewart, Patrick Wilson, and Vera Farmiga are the people. Like those are them. There's no one else. They don't exist. But I'm just glad that they're kind of like going out with this one. Also, like Last Rites being the last movie, I'm like, damn, that's too good. Like that's so good.
It's too on the nose, but I don't know. Like if that money's too good, watch this not be the Last Rites.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we'll see. Like the Warrens have something like 400 cases that they prepare, like apparently worked through. Like but the Amityville and the one with the witch, those were the most popular ones, but they have like 400. So Warner Brothers has
Annabelle,
no short of a well to drink from if they need it. We'll see. What about you? Well, I'm not gonna ask you. You don't like horror, so
I'm not a huge horror fan. Especially theirs, like it's a lot of jump scares in these, and I don't know, something about that feels kind of cheesy, something a little cheap,
Yeah, not great. Annabelle, I like.
More rights. The resurrection. There's the ripe choice of the resurrection wording.
Yeah. The resurrection.
Reloaded.
Yeah, Annabelle Reloaded. This time it's personal. Yeah, not super stoked for that movie, but I put it on here because like it is ending like a decades long, it's the Conjuring cinematic universe, dude. Like or the Warren cinematic universe. Like that's kind of ending. I thought that's interesting too.
Yeah, and they had their offshoots. There was Annabelle. There was maybe Amityville Horror. I don't know if they've redone that for the 47th time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so something to look forward to. And it's close to October, so it'll be a nice spooky season watch. And then in October we've got Good Fortune, which I don't see.
Yeah, I didn't bring. I added that one sort of towards the end. So, Good Fortune is a film with Aziz Ansari, and it's got Keanu Reeves, where he basically Aziz Ansari is like this down on his luck in real life and in this movie writer, and or this guy, and he magically, think like Freaky Friday, switches lives with his boss, who is Keanu Reeves, who in the movie is also like a pretty decent dude, but he's like a billionaire. And it's sort of about him navigating that whole process. I tend to like Aziz Ansari. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched his show on Netflix.
I hate Aziz Ansari.
Really? Wow.
Funny. Like he gets on my nerves. Like I tried watching, what is it called? I don't know, whatever his Netflix show was. I genuinely tried to watch him on Parks and Rec. drove me up the wall. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's a lovable character. He's so funny." Hated him the whole time. Like, he speaks, and the voice like grates on my eardrums.
No. Master of None. Master of None.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I loved the first season of Master of None. I think it's brilliant, and then it gets kind of not great after that. I think the first season is brilliant.
Well, to each their own.
That's wow. Okay, but to be fair, other than like Parks and Rec and Master of None, he hasn't really done anything worthwhile.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, I mean, I've tried watching his stand-ups, and they're just, just like, I can't get. It's like him and Ali Wong. Like, people love Ali Wong, and I can't get into her.
That's how I feel about Awkwafina. I don't like Awkwafina. I can't stand her. Like, I know that sometimes she's funny, and she was in Crazy Rich Asians, but that doesn't mean you could play that same character the whole time.
Yeah, she was great in Crazy Rich Asians, but because she was a small side character.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm excited because I think this is an interesting return for Aziz Ansari to see, like,
he's been out of the spotlight for a while now.
For a while, he I think like he had some stuff that like fell through, and then he had this, I forget the name of the movie, but he had a movie with Bill Murray that was pretty deep into filming, and then full stop once there were sexual misconduct allegations against Bill Murray, and like he was no longer able to attend filming.
Wow.
So like that movie just completely tanked, and Aziz Ansari was funding a lot of that on his own, and he lost like $15 million in that, which is like, Aziz Ansari is not Keanu Reeves. Like, he doesn't have the $15 million like below, So I think this is interesting. Hopefully he is learning to play like a more earnest version of himself and not the Parks and Rec who that annoys you tremendously, which I understand.
Yeah, it's that bodacious, no, audacious, bombastic.
Bodacious, yes.
Bodacious.
I don't know if anyone's ever in the history of linguistics described Aziz Ansari as bodacious.
Well, it's time someone start.
About
okay, so that wraps up October. And then in November, we have Predator Badlands and Wicked for Good, which both I'm kind of excited for. This is the Predator movie that's supposed to take place in like the POV of the Predator, which is this new trend and trope and gimmick that Hollywood is pushing now. And I'm not crazy about it, but it's Predator, and for that reason alone, I'm gonna be there night one.
Well, his Michael Trachtenberg, his pretty recent oh my god, what was it? It was just called Predators, right?
Predators. No.
Predators.
Prey.
Thank you. Was very good. Like it was quite good, and I think kind of gave everyone the peace of mind that that we wanted, like, for those properties, because I feel like the Alien and the Predator franchise are like very beloved, even though they're not. Like, it's weird. They're a weird thing that, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, not our demographic, but the demographic above us. Not saying you guys, all of you guys, but tend to be very precious about, and they're like, well, I don't want any new media made of this thing.
Yeah.
You dare make new media for this without us knowing. So it's like this closed loop. But it was good. Prey was pretty good.
Prey was great.
And then ending on one that I thought was very interesting. I don't know if this is actually still coming out in November. I haven't heard about it, but it's Wicked for Good.
Yes. And it's Wicked 4.
Yes, Wicked 4. Will be coming out. That's part 2 of obviously the smash success of Wicked. I'm pretty excited. Like, I don't know much about like the play. I know Wizard of Oz. I don't know much about the play, so I haven't really looked too much into it. But
yeah, well, historically, this is supposed to be Act 2 of the musical, and it's always been kind of considered like the slower part of the play. A lot of people don't favor the second half, so I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out. I'm sure they're going to expand on some stuff. But I think we've said it before. The first movie was longer than the entire musical runtime.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to milk stuff. I'm sure they're going to bring stuff back. I'm sure it'll work out. Plus, especially with like the momentum that they've got now, I don't think there's any stopping the Wicked machine.
I don't know. We'll see. I think that Wicked vastly overestimates the attention span of the American people. So
yes,
we'll see
that's
what's
why they rely
trending
on
by then.
international box office numbers.
Yeah, good looking at you, Fast and Furious. I yeah, not super weird. Like, I'm excited because I want it to like end and I want to know the resolution, but like I'm not looking forward to this movie. It's on here because it's like a massive thing releasing. It's gonna be this massive moment.
Yeah, you can't
But-
not talk about Wicked. You know?
Absolutely, like it's gonna be huge. So I wanted to hold space for it in our outline. Yeah. Dwayne, go to wicked.com and you can see the movie. He's like, that's funny enough. I already had it pulled up. So nasty. And yeah, so unfortunately that leaves us with no time to talk about Emma Frost. I'm so sorry, Daniel. I know that you wanted to talk about Emma Frost being, one of the Justice League members, predominantly one of our favorite. Yeah.
I had material ready to go, but it's fine. We'll save it for next week.
Why is so much of it blacked out?
Redacted?
Redacted. Yeah. Which I feel like Redacted is probably like the name of an X-Men.
It is now.
Cool, actually. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do Emma Erasure. Ooh. Ooh, that would be my code name. Emma, that'd be my superhero name.
Emma Erasure.
Yeah. And all I do is I rewrite history books for whoever wins. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining us. So we know this one went a little bit long. We were right though. We talked about Marvel Rivals for about 25 minutes, Daniel.
We sure did.
Which is 5 minutes under what we projected, but we will do our best to maybe cover a little bit more of these films as we can. But next week we will be back. Maybe pop culture news and headlines, probably pop culture news and headlines while we prepare. Again, Daniel is preparing for a wedding, his own.
It's gonna be big.
It's gonna be huge.
No, genuinely, every weekend has been packed with like planning meetings. We're going to like LA and talking to like flower suppliers and suit suppliers, and it's a whole production. But it's been fun.
Yeah. Well,
I get to feel like a real producer.
You need the day off on Friday for Marvel Rivals Season 1. This is my official request to give Daniel the day off on Friday. It's not going to happen. I have no power here. But yeah, thank you guys all so much. We will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. PT. Probably again, pop culture news. Maybe we'll cover the Golden Globes. Maybe we'll see where Daniel, maybe we can all just get together as a collective, Daniel, and plan your wedding.
Yeah. We need the input.
Yeah. Can't a wedding built by committee? Boy, who wouldn't? Isn't that what they say? More cooks in the kitchen.
More cooks in the kitchen. More hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Pete, you're a man after my own palate. Cake testings, we're in. Count me in. That's what me and Pete are doing. We'll do the cake.
I need to try the Oreo again.
Damn it, Pete. That's your fourth bite.
What could go wrong?
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful week. If you're in the California area, be very careful. We've got super high winds being reported. If you're in the Midwest or somewhere very cold, stay very warm or don't. I'm not your father. Do whatever you're going to do. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah. All right. That happened. Have a great night. Thank you all so much. And like what you love what you like, and don't be a dick about it. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Do we know what kind of cake we're doing yet?
We do.